Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 13 to What If Goku's Heart Virus Turned Him into a Zombie. Before we get into today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and further acknowledge and support the future of the Omniverse by checking out the Omniverse's homepage to stay tuned with everything for the future and check out everything that it has to offer, along with commenting future requests and expectations for this year and for the future in the comments section. With all that said, let's get started. We open up where we ended off last time, with Goku being brought back after so many years, and Tarbell and Broly and Paragus being brought into the story. And now, Whis has finally allowed Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Broly and Paragus to train at Beerus' world. Whis also uses his staff, and then, within a second, after a blink of the staff, future Gohan's arm is brought back? And Gohan didn't even ask for it. Gohan looks at his arm, it's like, he smiles because, like, for one thing, like, he didn't expect, for one, his dad to be brought back to life and being heard that it's by Whis, but for him to just get his arm back? But then he looks sad and disappointed and says that he wanted to be stuck with one arm after getting it taken by Vegeta because it wouldn't be his if it was just restored. That's why he never used the Dragon Balls. But Whis says there's no need to worry about that. Whis used his magic to restore Gohan's arm to the way that it used to be, not just some copy or new arm. He has the power. And Whis also says that now that new arm, which was his old arm, has also been made more durable and stronger. So that means he can not only hit harder with that arm, but he can also defend bunches of times more than he ever could with his old appendage. And if the same ever happens to his other one, Whis will just bop him and do the same. But he doesn't want to make it a habit, so he tells Gohan that this isn't going to be a repetitive thing, and he hopes that Gohan plans to utilize that power he used against Lord Beerus and make sure that never happens again. And Whis says, I would never have expected that a one-armed Saiyan would have been able to give my lord such a run for his money. But do not think that just because your power is as high as to satisfy Lord Beerus to a great content like your father finally became, that it's best to leave yourself at that power. Being a Saiyan, I have no doubt that you will flourish with even more power, and give my lord an even bigger sense of satisfaction. Gohan smiles and says that you have no need to worry, Mr. Whis. I have no intention of sitting still, which is a far cry from his frickin', the Gohan we know of, which I've already stated, but that's beside the point. So, you guys might be wondering, what does Gohan train for at Beerus' planning? I have made it plainly obvious as to what he does in every other story, but this is a different Gohan, remember. So, being this Gohan, what does he do? Well, he's not going to get God, or Super Saiyan Blue, or even Ultra Instinct. I am going to have him stay with his ultimate and beast form. So, he practices with it and masters the beast form. But over time, he begins to think. He thought about something right after the Demon World expedition. Going between Beast and Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 and Beast were both catalysts thanks to that old Namekian Neva. So what if, this is a huge what if, ironically inside a what if he was able to combine those two forms, which were catalyst forms that he's now mastered? He could reach an even higher level of power, something that only these two catalyst forms are capable of. Something new, like Vegeta. Something that is completely out of the ordinary for any Saiyan. Something that no one's ever seen before. So, he experiments with it for a good deal of time. But then one day, everyone on Beerus's planet sees a humongously huge ball and array of gray silver smoke. Almost like a completely universal volcano, but all you can see is just smoke. Gray silver smoke. But when it all dissipates, a new Gohan has taken shape. One with a tail like Super Saiyan 4, but it's silver. His fur is silver too, and long silver gray hair. This is me canonizing Super Saiyan 5. Now, I bet you guys are all wondering, those of you who are fans and know of Super Saiyan 5 when I mentioned it with Super Saiyan Hell, how is this remotely possible to happening? Beast plus Super Saiyan 4 equals Super Saiyan 5? What? You guys are probably looking at me like I am doing what I did in the Cybermen story and completely fanonizing it. But not so. This actually makes sense. Think about this for a second. Whenever Goku pretty much needed the catalyst way more than Ultra Instinct, or around the same kind of Ultra Instinct, to get to Super Saiyan 4 in the first place, that's why he never used it in Super, and then just went with Ultra Instinct. Super Saiyan 4, as we know it, for general Super Saiyan forms in all of Dragon Ball that are canon, is Super Saiyan 4. And Super Saiyan 5 is a fan-made form. We got a small, teensy little bit of whiteness whenever Goku was going Super Saiyan 4 for the first time in Daima, but I don't think that was direct correlation as to Super Saiyan 5. Could have been. I don't think it was. Super Saiyan 5 is pretty much still and always will be a pipe dream, you know? So, I decided to take some very, very, very creative liberty here and canonize Super Saiyan 5. Because Beast has white hair. Super Saiyan 4 has red fur. So, combining not only the colors, but pure malice and power of both transformations, looks, power, and aggression, means that this is the perfect way to introduce Super Saiyan 5, especially with Gohan. Hopefully that clears stuff up. Piccolo masters his orange form in Giants and transforms into the Namekian god form, which I used in my Immortal Vegeta story. Broly, being featured in my stories for the first time, is practicing with Whis and everybody to control his rage, which they haven't seen firsthand yet, and that's a bad thing, because Broly starts to go into his Wrath state, or Akari state, you know, the great ape humanoid form. And Whis has to be the one to step in and stop him, because he's dealt with this kind of stuff before with Beerus, so this is nothing compared to him. What would Vegeta do, you might ask? Well, he's not going to be going with God, Blue Evolution, or Super Saiyan Blue. None of that! He is going to be practicing still with Super Saiyan Hell, because Beerus has a plan. If Vegeta can use Super Saiyan Hell and combine it with the might of destruction, maybe he could not only become a candidate for the God of Destruction, but he could become a super God of Destruction. Something beyond a God of Destruction. Something that Beerus knew that Super Saiyan Hell form was something, but this could actually be an apex God of Destruction. Something much more tremendously terrifying and more powerful. So, Vegeta does unlock Ultra Ego, but then Beerus encourages him to use the power of Super Saiyan Hell with it. So, over time, Vegeta unlocks a new form besides Ultra Ego, obviously, but we all know that from the manga. He unlocks Mastered Hell's Ego. So he basically masters Ultra Ego with Super Saiyan Hell. So it's all Ultra Ego, except one eye still red, the pupil, and gray. So Super Saiyan Hell is definitely dominant with this form, and Vegeta has now become an apex god of destruction. So yeah, this is not the first time I've given Vegeta so much gains in a story, but this is way, 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 way more so. Especially since I gave him fan-made forms over and over again. As for Goku, he experiments and gets to Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Tarbell unlocks Super Saiyan 2 and trains with that. Paragus is allowed to wish and get his youth back since he never got that luxury being trapped on Wampa for years and years and years. And he needs to earn trust with the people of Earth since he tried to use his son as a means of getting revenge on Vegeta. And Paragus isn't exactly a pure Saiyan still. So, trust needs to be gained. So Paragus says he'll do whatever and he will show them all. But just because he's the weakest Saiyan doesn't mean it's going to be that way for long. And he will gain the trust and validation that someone like him deserves. And over time, Paragus unlocks Super Saiyan and barely gets to Super Saiyan 2 before Resurrection F. So Frieza's resurrected, and that whole thing goes exactly the same. Except Sorbet explains that everything has gone way differently, but he doesn't mention Majin Buu. So this actually gives Frieza more satisfaction and urge not to train. Sorbet still says that Goku might be more formidable now than when he bested him, but not saying that he beat Majin Buu, because Sorbet is not going to catch... The spy drones were not going to go to the demon realm. Let's just face that right now. If they didn't know about Beerus and them, what makes you think they'd know about the demon realm? That was just as far, if not farther. Who knows how far the spy drones could have gone? Heck, Dr. DeRose never went out of space because they were destroyed in the Saiyan battle. That's beside the point. So Frieza says he is going to become stronger, but he's also not going to be becoming stronger than in canon. Frieza says there's no need for him to gain super strong. He'll just max out his 100% and make sure all of his abilities are maxed beyond the level that Goku tried to fight him with. Meaning that he really doesn't have to become stronger at all. He just has to make himself more durable and faster. He doesn't have a need to become stronger. So Frieza trains to the absolute limits and beyond with his 100%. So he's not going to get stronger, barely. He's not going on Resurrection F tier. This is like barely Buu Saga tier, and this isn't the first time I've done this. So he trains, and he gets past 100%, and over time, he maxes the form out. Then his army appears on Earth, but it doesn't last long. Soldiers are eradicated, everyone is easily decimated by the people on Earth, even without the Saiyans who are training on Beerus' planet, and Trunks gets his first win by showing off a true shining sword slash, killing Frieza just like in canon for the first time. And yeah, this was going to happen. For one thing, everyone is stronger than Frieza in this time, no matter if he got Golden Frieza or not. And Frieza has no need to train that hard this time, with Buu not being told by Sorbet that Goku killed him. So Frieza is utterly decimated. There is no need for Golden Frieza in this timeline. So now, on to the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament. Monica, there's no need to introduce him. And our team, Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Broly. What will happen in this tournament? Will Universe 7 pull off the win with so much going for them? I know, it's probably a huge, dumb question. Will it give Universe 6 more of an edge to try and fight harder and more desperately? And even if they win so easily with their huge, humongous gains, whose body will Zamasu take? Will there even be a need for it? And how will the Tournament of Power and near the ending of this story go, with 2 parts remaining to the epic finale tale of this zombie Goku story. Find out next time.